So here we are with James Taylor, whom I've known since 2014, but I only meet him face to face now. James, great seeing you here.
Great to see you too. This is what IATEFL can do, right? It brings us together.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about you, for those people who don't know who you are?
Sure, of course. So I'm based in Brazil at the moment, but I have moved around a bit. I'm originally from Brighton, so it's really nice for me. This conference is the best one because not just because I don't have to pay for a hotel, but because it's I love the city. So coming back here, it's always nice, and everything. There's memories for me everywhere, you know.
Nice.
As I said today on my talk, that the room where I spoke, I saw Radiohead live in that room about 25 years ago. So now I've played in a room where I've performed in a room where Radiohead performed. So it's really nice for me to come back to Brighton. So yeah, I'm based in Brazil. I am teacher trainer. Now I'm mainly teaching online, but I've done a bit of everything at some point.
And I know you're very actively involved with associations, right?
Yeah, I know. I can't help myself. So I'm one of the original co-founders of Belter in Belgium, and I was the first president. And now in Brazil, I'm let me get this right. I'm the second vice president of TEFL Brasilia, the second vice president of TEFL Besig. And yeah, those are the two. Yeah, I specialise in second vice presidents.
And you're also volunteering your time in other projects as well. So in the past you were with ELT Chat, and now you're doing something with podcasts.
Yeah. So I did ELT Chat for a few years, and now I'm the brains behind the TEFL Commute podcast. No, I'm just joking. But I'm the producer of the show. So we have Sean and Lindsay, who are the presenters and who are mainly responsible for the content, but it's my job to sort of put the whole thing together. I really, really enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun.
What is this all about? What is TEFL Commute then?
So TEFL Commute is a podcast for English teachers, but it's not it's not particularly academic or serious. It's a fun one. We sort of focus on topics that we think English teachers or language teachers would find interesting. So we've done, so we talk about teaching a bit, but then sometimes we talk about things that, recently we did an episode on accents. Mm-hmm. I know you could treat that subject in a very academic way, but instead, we like to talk about accents in movies and TV shows, and why do people, the baddies in films always speak with like British accents or German accents, things like that, which we think are really interesting for English teachers. So it's there are some other great podcasts which are more sort of academic ones. Ours is like your Monday morning commute to work, something fun to get you ready for work.
And you also had a talk today.
I did, yes.
About it was teaching English in the post-truth era, isn't it?
That's right, yes.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. I just as I say in the talk, I think the best thing about being a language teacher is the fact that we don't have to teach a particular subject, that we have the opportunity to kind of talk about whatever we like, within reason, of course. So I think these kind of skills, whether you call them, like sort of critical thinking, digital literacy, all this kind of stuff, but I think that those are things that are really important, and there's no reason why as English teachers we can't talk about those kind of things. So at the moment, this is a very sort of hot topic, this idea of post-truth and fake news and all of that kind of thing. But I do think, the research shows that there's a real need for not just for young people, teenagers, but also for adults, that this is a skill that is really sorely lacking in a lot of people. And I think that as language teachers, we can help our students to acquire these skills while teaching language at the same time. Of course, that's our primary function. But I think that it's a very interesting time to be dealing with that kind of topic. And so I find it as a teacher, I find that as a very interesting thing to do.
Why do you say that it's something very relevant to today?
Well, I think that it's very much of the moment in the news. There's a lot of, most people, if you talk about fake news, most people are going to think of one person in particular at the moment. But and so that the idea online, a lot of fake news is getting shared around. As I shared in the talk, at the moment it's mainly based on texts, but it won't be long before there are videos where people can be seen to be saying things that they didn't actually say. So I don't think this is going away. And I think, if anything, the internet has kind of made it worse in this sense, because, in the past, to create published materials, there were a lot of gatekeepers between you and a finished product, and now anyone can start a website and just say whatever they like. So it's much more difficult to be that kind of critical reader because of the flood. It's just a deluge. Whatever you want to find, you can find. Whatever opinion you want to have reinforced, no matter how inaccurate it is, you will find someone who will write with authority to say something that makes you feel like you're right, even when you're not.
Do you feel teachers then need a specialised form of training to do that, or any particular set of skills?
Not particularly. I think that obviously there's a great deal of there's awareness involved, but I think that it's something that teachers can learn to do. I mean, in my talk, I talked about the key skills that you need, a checklist that teachers can use with their students. There are loads of resources online which are designed for education, not for ELT, but they're quite easily adaptable for ELT. So the resources are already there. The teacher just has to adapt them for the classes that they have. And if people really want to get a sense of how to do a first lesson like this, there's a lesson plan on my website which teachers can download, and there's a PowerPoint and lots of resources that are available there.
Would you like to tell us your website?
Sure, yeah, it's theteacherjames.com.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Going back to the conference,
sure.
What have you enjoyed so far, other than your own presentation, that is?
Yeah. I've done really well with my with the talks that I've been to. I've been to some really, really interesting talks of very thought-provoking and interesting, and so I'm really pleased with that. Every year I come to IATEFL, I know more people. There's a lot of teachers from Brazil here this year, and I know most of them. So I have a lot of friends around the building from Brazil, but also from around the world that I've met before. So that aspect of the conference is always, of course, you cannot underestimate how important it is to be around the people that you know, sharing, talking, going out after, having lunch together, and all of these things. It's just so valuable. And I haven't been to the last two. I went to 5 in a row, and then I missed the last two. So, coming back, it's just it's so nice to be back in this environment with these people, sharing. It's just, it's fantastic. Really.
Is there anything you would like to say to people who could not be here with us this year, but perhaps they were thinking of joining IATEFL?
Yeah, of course, you have to understand, for a lot of people, it's a huge commitment, and I understand that, because it's very expensive for me, coming from Brazil. But it's very, very rewarding. It's very, very rewarding. You can get so much out of it, like I said, not just from going to the talks, which are enough in themselves, but from the people that you get to spend time with. So if it's something that is feasible for people, then I can't recommend it highly enough. It's really, as a teacher, coming to this conference over the years has given me so much that I can't imagine what my professional life would be like had I not come to this conference. I wouldn't be doing that podcast, for example, and I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, and and all of so many things that have happened in my career so far. I don't think any of it would have happened had I not come to IATEFL for the first time.
Thank you very much for this interview, and it's great having you here with us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Angelos.